It is crazy if you ask me how September is already here, and with that comes a lot of changes. The main one is another change in my workout routine. In this case, I wanted to try out the Mike Menzer workout routine for those who are interested. What better way to start it than creating another workout tracker inside of Notion? So this time I'm going to take you along with me and show you around how it's done. In my case, I have already listed all of the exercises that I'm going to be performing on a weekly basis on the list. So if you have not done that already, just pause the video and get that done. Creating a database. As you can see, I've already created a page called Workout Tracker YouTube Example, and this is what we're going to be working on here. Now, the very first step that we're going to do is creating a database. But we are not going to create it the normal way. We're going to create a page which leads us to a database. So the way to do it is to type /page, and we're going to click on database full page. So the very first thing that we're going to do is to name this page. I'm going to name it exercises database YouTube. Since I already have another one, I don't want to mix them up. So there we have it. Step number 2, customizing database. Now that we have our database created, what we need to do is to create the properties that we need in order to track our workout routine. The very first one that we need is called name, and as the name implies, it tracks the name of our exercise that we need to perform. So as it is created by default, we're going to leave it there, and let's hop into the next one, which is checkbox. This one we'll use in order to check the boxes of the exercises that we have already performed. So in this case, we have this one, and I don't need that much space, so we're going to make it slimmer, and we're going to put it on the left side of our name property. Another property that I like to include is called difficulty. This is a multi-select property that we'll use, and here I like to track how difficult the exercise has been for me. And I like to do it with 3 options. One is hard, the second is medium, this one is the one that I use the most, and then the third one is easy, in case I slacked a little bit and I need to perform it a little bit harder. And here comes the most important property that we need, the day property. In spite of the name day that we have assigned to it, this is not a date property, this is actually a select property, a single select property. Inside of here, it depends on how many days per week you want to train. In my case, I want to train 3 days per week. So inside of the options, I'm just going to type 1, 2, and 3. What this allows us to do is to place our exercises correctly on the day that we need to perform them. And also we're going to make it a little bit slimmer because we don't need that much space. And finally, the 5th property that we're going to need for our database is called reps. Here is where we will track the amount of reps that we have performed on each exercise. And it is going to be a text property. Now that we have our database created, what we'll need to do is take that list that we have laid down previously of the exercises that we're going to be performing on a weekly basis and put them into our database. So as you can see, I have customized the database a little bit as my liking, and I have put my exercises that I'm going to be performing and a day I'm going to be performing them in. And I've actually left the current weight, difficulty, and reps option empty because I didn't track those exercises before, and I would like to start all over again. So with this done, we can continue to step number 3. Step number 3, creating a gallery database. Now that we have created the entire brain of our workout tracker, we can actually go into creating what I like to call the user interface. It sounds complex, but it is not. It is actually just a gallery view of a database. So what we'll do is Shift 7, and we'll create a gallery view of a new database, which we'll call Workout Tracker. And in each of these pages, we will actually track our workout days. So in my case, I have 3 workout days in a week. So I'll just make, you know what? Let's do something. In this case, where you need to create 3 or several pages that are almost the same, let's create what I like to call a default page. So let's create a new template we'll call day X. For those of you who are wondering, what we're doing is that we're creating a page that will repeat itself every single time that we create a new page, making it a default. So what I'm doing now is that I'm creating a linked view of a database of the exercises database that we created previously. Linked view of a database. And we're going to select the exercises database YouTube that we created previously. So as you can see, on day X, we have the entire database. So we don't want that. We want to hide the title because I don't like it. And yeah, that's gonna be the new template that we're gonna use. Now with this page that we just created, we're going to make it a default, and you'll see why in a sec. So we go into here, we make it a default, only for your gallery. It doesn't really matter, but you'll see the magic now. Every single time that I click on a new page, you'll see that we create another linked database, so we don't have to link it every single time. So yeah, we'll just create 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. And the page 3 option, we'll just delete it. Step number 4, customizing linked view databases. Now that we have the 3 pages that we need, they're exactly the same. So we're going to customize it in order to make it functional. Now that we're inside of the first page of our gallery, we'll name day X to name day 1. And then here's where the property day comes into play. So as you can see, we can see all of the exercises that are inside of our database. We don't want that. What we want is to specifically show the day 1 exercises. How are we going to do that? We're going to go into filter, and then on the property day, we're going to choose day number 1. This way, it only shows the exercises that we chose for number 1. And now that all of the exercises showing are day 1, we don't need the day property anymore, so we're going to get rid of it. We're going to hide it. We're going to hide it, not delete it. Those are completely different things. Very important. Don't delete it, just hide it. And yeah, it looks much cleaner now. And if you want to, you can actually go into here, layout, and show vertical lines. I usually have it clicked off, turned off, so it looks cleaner and more static. And yeah, that's it. And now that we have completed the first page of our gallery, what we need to do now is go into the rest of the pages and do the exact same thing that I have showed you. Step number 5, creating a completion bar. At this point, you have a pretty solid workout tracker. It will be fine, but since you know I like to do things a little bit more professionally, we'll create a progress bar. Now, in order to do this, we'll hop into day 1, and then we'll click on add property, and then we'll make a relation to the database that we're working on. In this case, is the workout exercises database that we created previously. We're gonna add relation, and then in here, where it says empty, we're gonna add the exercises that are on our day 1 workout. So in this case, we're talking about squats, bench press, pull-ups, and dumbbell shoulder press. So now that we have that relation, we're gonna hide it because I don't wanna see it. And then we're gonna add another property on top of that, which is called roll-up. Now at this point, it is pretty important that you select the right database, because if not, this is not gonna work. So we wanna select the exercise database YouTube 1, because that's the one that we're working on right now, which includes squats, bench press, pull-ups, and dumbbell shoulder press. The property that we're gonna select is the checked and calculate. We wanna calculate the percentage checked. Okay, and we're gonna choose the progress bar option because we want a progress bar, or if you want a ring, you can also do it. And yeah, that's it. Now we're gonna hide the property of the relation, and that's it. Now that we have done that on day 1, we need to do that on day 2 and day 3 exactly the same way. And the very last thing we need to do in order to show our progress bar will be to go into the gallery view database and then go up here in the 3 dots and properties and show roll up. This way we can see how much of a progress we have made in our weekly training. Step number 6, creating an uncheck button. Let's say that we are finished having our workout for the week and we have all of the pages checked. It will be a pain in the ass if you had to uncheck every single page in there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna implement the new functionality from Notion, the buttons functionality, so that this way we don't have to manually uncheck every single page that we have created. Now, how do we create a button? What we're gonna do is we're gonna do Shift 7 and button, just type it in, and we'll edit pages in. We'll select the database of our exercises. In this case, I call the exercises database YouTube. In your case, it might be another name. And we'll edit a property. And this time we'll click on checked and we'll set it to unchecked. Okay, now let's give it a name, call uncheck all, and set a icon. We'll give it a trash icon. That's it. And yeah, let's try it out. We can see that on day 1, on day 2, we have 100% check completion, so uncheck all. and it will set our workout tracker to 0. Step number 7, more details. At this point, we already have our perfect workout routine tracker, but as you know, you can always make it a little bit better. You can always add a little bit more of your salt and customize it. So as you can see, I have customized mine a little bit more. I have placed on the left side of my gallery view a dashboard, which we will use to create new goal boxes, in which I'll type in this week's goal. Let's say we are today on September 3rd, and my goal is to complete all of the workouts. So in case I complete that, I'll just check it, and then we'll grab it and put it onto our My Past Goals page. This is just a page, it's a normal page. We just drag it on there, and yeah, there's that. And if I want to create another box, in case this one is checked as well, I'll just click on the button and it'll create another box. And down here, I also have, if you feel a little bit funky, you can also plug in your Spotify playlist for your workouts. In this case, I have the Central C and Drake playlist. And yeah, the workout databases, I have them linked down here, and there's another user guide on here. And this would complete our perfect Notion workout tracker. So for you, those of you who are interested, I'll leave this exact same workout tracker in the link in the description. And yeah, thank you for watching. Follow me on my socials and subscribe for more.